So let me. So what we wanted to do for the second part is, we really wanted to talk again at the beginning of public value, then the second part was examples of what citizen science was, or is, and then what we really want to do is ask you these questions. And originally Lori Ann had this set up where we were doing a World Cafe, which I've never done, and nobody else here has, well, of the speakers at least, has ever done. And so we decided to do, because we figured our numbers would shrink some, is simply just do this as a group. And that's asking these questions. So the first one is, how do you think citizen science can help you programmatically achieve your extension goals? The second one is, which citizen science projects do you think you could implement? So rather than separating them out, any thoughts on those? Good point.
Well, it's all right. And I'll carry on. I don't know. I think it'll work either way, but I can see that with the goal of, increasing, providing opportunities for both. Well, I work with 4-H, so let me go ahead and qualify that. So in the context of 4-H, 4-Hers need project work, things that help build their knowledge and opportunity to contribute to various programs. So hooking them up with existing citizen science opportunities like this nature notebook, which I'm registering for at the moment so that I can start observing plants in my backyard and whatnot, is just a really good opportunity for them to develop some project work and also help encourage our overall mission of preparing youth for STEM-related careers and getting them interested in STEM-related careers. That's probably enough for me. Who else?
Well, this is kind of, off the topic, on the topic. I've been doing mostly evaluation with 4-H in North Carolina, and I thought having these little clips, especially created by kids, would be a great way to repopulate a site and discuss examples of program quality and outcomes, and then have people comment on them so that instead of doing a workshop on how to do a high quality program, you have a continuous, and people will post them, will post questions or post examples themselves in order to get feedback from other people doing similar things. Just a thought.
Good, thank you. I think there's one up here. You're probably recorded.
Oh, no, I'm recorded. I'm a Master Gardener volunteer, and I see this as a way to keep neat projects going for our Master Gardener group, because we really don't have enough to do. We live in a very harsh environment. We have water restrictions. We have crappy soil. So trying to have a Master Gardener group is a little bit of a joke in our area.
She's in New Mexico?
I'm in southern New Mexico, and it's a harsh place to garden. We're finishing our garden season right now, actually, because we don't garden in the summer. But some of these things we could earn hours, we could keep the group interested, and our Master Gardener group is retirees and aging and getting physically more and more challenged to do some of these things, and if they can earn hours and stay active. We do cocoa rows, which is great because we only get rain about 6 weeks of the year, so it's a really easy project to do. You do monthly zeros till about the middle of July, and you record your 4 inches of rain, and you go back to monthly zeros. But this is a great way to keep, I think, volunteers active doing different things.
Other thoughts? This is on for the folks online. If they feel free to dump stuff in the chat box. Does anyone have any ideas or any thoughts where we would play a role? Any burning idea you'd like to test?
Well, Jerry, I'll just mention that I think, and again, I mentioned the food deserts specifically because Extension does have a lot of goals and priorities that are not related to environment or climate change. And I think we would be amiss if we didn't look at a more broad definition of citizen science and science in general to be, what are the other areas where we could take these techniques that work so well to involve and engage our community to help some of the other science that we're doing?
Just since this is a dialogue, I could see, again, mentioning the idea of moving beyond just environmental projects, having kids is doing things like having an app that they can, punch in data about what their friends ate for lunch. I mean, just to document some nutrition data. Or I guess I just like the idea of, getting them to gather some data that might be a little closer to home, not something where they have to trek out into the woods, because not everyone's into that. But you could get folks gathering some other data about, more social, a variety of nutrition, behavioral, risk behavior, educational aspirations. I don't know, I guess I could just see that if the interface is easily, if you could create an easily, I guess you could probably set this up on a Google Doc practically, or Qualtrics, set up a little Qualtrics form and help them develop a study about whatever the heck they care about. So
that may require IRB.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think that's probably good. I will say, just a note on IRB, our IRB said that if we don't plan on sharing the results of our surveys in the form of a publication, that they're really not concerned about it. That fact matter is, they're kind of scared we're going to overwhelm them the way we have overwhelmed many of the UGA resources in terms of screening volunteers and travel and all these other things that our massive organization can do. So they kind of tend to say, all right, never mind, we'd rather not deal with you. So that may not be your case, but just a little side note there.
Good idea, it's good brainstorming. The gentleman from Nebraska.
My name's Aaron Yoder, and I'm from the Ag Safety and Health Community of Practice, so we're outside the environmental realm, but two projects that we're trying to find funding for, so I'll put in a sales pitch there. One is collecting noise data, because agricultural producers are exposed to a lot of loud noises and have hearing loss as a result of that, is to use smartphones to collect noise data. They make apps where you can measure sound levels, and then if we have a customized app that they could just submit that, maybe what they were doing at the time, and maybe even make it competitive, where what's the loudest thing on your farm? So they measure the loudest thing on their farm and submit those. The other one is tractor driving. Tractor rollovers kill more farmers than anything else. So if we can get them to mount their smartphones inside their tractor cabs, we can collect location data as well as angular velocities, so hillsides and different things like that. So we can tap into some of the sensors that are in smartphones and use those to collect data more than we can in research projects. So it gives us a huge database to go from.
Thank you. Other thoughts or ideas?
I would just mention that I would encourage you, if you had to go through IRB to be able to publish, I would encourage you to do that, because again, part of the citizen science is teaching youth that you have that argumentation, negotiation, is this true? Is this real? Have we created new knowledge? And then being able to share that is so powerful for youth. And so I know that, if you were collecting data on youth, it would be a lot harder to get it through, but if it was possible, and you might have the kids do the IRB presentation. That could be interesting.
Okay.
Surely instill a love of science.
He said sarcastically.
I know. On that note, I think we're winding down. Just one or two quick things. There is a handout, a couple of them. The short piece of paper has a little note about the Citizen Science COP, or Community of Practice, and this is an informal, internal community of practice. So if you're interested in this topic, please join that, because we're really trying to get a pool of people in there. If you have questions about it, at the bottom of that is Lori Ann's name and Trudy's name and email address. And if you are interested interested in it, you can also give us your name, and we can invite you to that COP. It's very easy for us to do if you're not sure how to find the COP and people. If you're not familiar, you can go to people.extension.org, log in, and search for that community of practice and ask for it. So that doesn't require e-extension ID. Teresa, anything else you wanted to add?
Would you put the URL for our handout back up?
Yeah.
And I'll just say, we put some stuff there. Paul gave us a report and some flyers, some additional information on the Utah project. I posted the list of 4-H citizen science projects that Cornell developed last summer. So there are a number of resources up there. I also put up a series of webinars that CipherNet and Cornell did last year on citizen science. They're also listed under Learn if you want to look for them there, but I posted them there as well. And under each of those are a number of resources as well for some of the citizen science work that we've been doing.
So this is the actual document. You can see stuff on there, and there's 4 other people at the top. You can see the little tabs that are looking at this right now, and potentially adding or editing. But go ahead and add stuff to it as you see fit, or resources that you come across that you're interested in as well, and we'll keep adding some information to it as well. And if you're interested and can't find the COP and don't have a chance to talk to us, just go to the bottom of this form and add your name, and we'll go ahead and invite you to it. Okay, I think we are officially done.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your ideas. We really appreciate it. And join the community. We could really use your involvement and support in moving this agenda forward in extension.
Yep, I don't know if Paul's still there, but thanks, Paul.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.